All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Realty Rundown from the Nick Wise team. I'm Nick Wise, and with me, as always, is Brianna and Nathan. Today, we are going to talk about some numbers, but before I do that, I want to thank Matt Carver again for coming on last week. Matt's with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, and he was a wealth of information. I thought that was a great show. I hope you all got a chance to catch it. It's still up on our Facebook page as well as Spotify. You can catch it at either place, depending on what format works for you. And then the week before that, we had the Ask an Agent segment, which actually blew up too and got one of our most viewed shows ever, where we kind of ask each other questions. That was a lot of fun. I definitely think we're going to do that again. So be on the lookout for that show coming up again soon. But again, we're going to talk about numbers today. Before we started, Nathan said, I'm so excited. I love numbers. I'm a numbers nerd.
It's true.
I tend to be too. I'd say Nate takes it to another level.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Early
I'm
in his
ashamed.
career. Yeah, man. He tracks everything. I think Brand is that way too. I think we're all kind of oriented toward that. We're goal setters, and we definitely want to know where we're at, be able to measure ourselves and look at the right metrics, as well as just customer satisfaction. Which, just to toot our horns a little bit, I think so far we have had perfect feedback. If you go on Google and look any one of us up, I think we're all 5-star agents, which
Yep.
is a pretty cool thing, especially when you've been around as long as I have. But so we're doing something right, and the numbers reflect that. So again, today, but we're going to not just talk about ourselves. We're going to dive into real estate market stats for 2024 and what's ahead here in 2025. Plus, we're going to shine the spotlight of success on Remax results as a whole, not just our team, and how we're leading the way. And we are leading the way on Elkhart County. So again, today I've got my co-host Nathan and Brianna. Welcome, team.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, today some fascinating numbers. I'm excited to dive in and take a look. So,
Yep, and I can't wait to talk about how Remax is outperforming all of the competition.
Absolutely. Before we get to Remax, though, we are going to talk about our team numbers right now. We've had an awesome start to 2025. Right now, I'm showing that we have already closed 5 properties, just over $1 million in volume, as we call it. So that's the sales price of the properties combined. Which it says a little something that shows kind of how the market has really embraced kind of the entry level homes. 5 closings at $1 million. That's averaging obviously about $200,000 per closing. That's certainly a little lower, quite a bit lower actually than the market average right now, which we will talk about. But again, shows how popular those entry level homes are. So if you are thinking about buying right now and you're a first time buyer and you're looking in that range, just know there is a lot of competition out there right now. We also have currently pending 10 units, which is awesome for the winter. 10 units at just over $4 million, which obviously bumps that number up on average to about $400,000 per home sold. We've got a couple of big dogs in there. There's a couple big properties that we're moving right now, which is also a great sign because that is, as we kind of just reflected, that has been one of the toughest markets recently right now is that executive level home, especially anything once you're getting over $400,000-$500,000, they're starting to move again. So that's great news for the market overall. We love to see that. As far as a snapshot of the overall market and how the market performed in 2024, total closed sales in Elkhart County, so this is all agents, all sales in Elkhart County, reached $1.003 billion. That's a B, $billion, which is a 7.7% increase over 2023, which is, I would say, an impressive growth trend.
yeah, I would agree. And the average sales price went up by 6.7%, climbing from $248,038 in 2023 to $264,692 in 2024. But definitely reflects strong demand and the continued appreciation of home values.
Yep. Meanwhile, the total number of units closed saw a modest increase of 1%, going from 1,876 in 2023 to 1,894 in 2024. The market's still moving, but inventory constraints are keeping things competitive.
Yeah, and as you can see on your screen right now, we've got the Elkhart County MLS units sold for the last 16 years. You see that massive, growth over the early years of that, kind of coming out of the Great Recession, and then it kind of plateaued a little bit. Obviously, we see some COVID action in there, but really the reason for that big dip is just that continued lack of supply, like Brianna mentioned, inventory constraints, as you said. That is exactly true. Part of that is obviously because of interest rates. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in a second. And part of it is just people, feeling like they don't want to move unless they have to. The rates are a big part of it, but it's a lot more. We're not going to go too far into it in this episode. It could be a whole episode of itself, but it's a lot of the boomer generation who's just not moving right now. They're tending to sit on their properties a little bit longer, putting off retirement a little bit longer than what they maybe would have done in the past. Speaking of inventory, we did end the year with just 2.7 months of supply, which indicates a seller's market. Now, what is 2.7 months of supply? That is essentially how long it would take to sell all the homes that we have on the market right now if no new homes came on. So 2.7 months might sound like a long time, but that's actually really low. A lot of times we're looking historically closer to 6 months supply of homes on the market, which they would say is kind of like the average. So 2.7 months, again, does indicate a seller's market. We just don't have enough homes to sell. So when there's buyers out there, they're hungrier than they would be in a normal balanced market. So properties are moving pretty fast. Average days on market has increased to 32 days, which is actually a big jump over 2023. It's an 18.5% rise. The last few years we were looking around, sometimes it was down around 11 days on market for a home to sell on average. Now being up around 32 days again may seem like a long time, especially if you were in that market back then. You're like, why isn't my home selling? It's taking a month to sell. This is crazy. Not crazy at all. Again, that's about half of what it normally would be in historical trends. So that's still a really, really strong market. Okay, we are going to jump over now and talk a little bit more about RE/MAX Results. That's the company that we're all affiliated with, Nick Wise team under RE/MAX Results. So in 2024, our company closed $127.2 million in volume just in our company alone. We mentioned earlier the 100 billion in Elkhart County. This is just RE/MAX Results. That is a 4.5% increase over 2023. I'm going to try and find a chart here in a second, but that is a 12.7% market share, which is awesome. And as you will see, that is actually number one in Elkhart County. We are number one in a couple different metrics, but Nate, I think this is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I think it's incredible. I love seeing that chart, and it really does show the strength of our brand, our tools, and our agents' commitment to providing top-notch service to our clients. And I even think I told you this, Nick, when even as a young kid, when I would see the RE/MAX sign, I knew what it meant. I knew it was they sell homes, so it's a good brand.
Yep. It's also worth noting that some of our competitors actually saw declines. For example, Berkshire Hathaway was down 6.4%, and RE/MAX is staying competitive and delivering consistent growth year over year.
Yeah, and I think it just points to the, not to say anything negative about Berkshire, but they were really fighting, right alongside of us for a while. Then we kind of just took off this last year, and I think it really speaks volumes to our agents. I'm going to throw another chart up here that you'll be able to see the company average agents units sold. We definitely helped raise this number as a team. We closed more than double this amount with our team. So we are pushing that number higher. But that speaks again to the professionalism of the agents that are with RE/MAX Results. You're typically going to get your most seasoned agents. And when we do bring somebody on, Brianna obviously being a little bit newer to the team, she's getting trained right. She's getting the education, she's getting the service orientation that we really, really focus on. That is not a lot of steam, guys. That is the truth. When I came on to RE/MAX so many years ago, I didn't think I was going to stay here. Sorry, Todd, if you're listening. That's the truth, though. I absolutely was like, I'm going to do my 2 years, because back then you kind of had to have a couple years before you could go out and be your own brokerage. But I was going to do my 2 years and I was going to bounce. I'm going to go and do my own thing. I had names picked out. I had slogans, all this stuff picked out. But really just being at RE/MAX and feeling at home there and seeing the leadership and the way that the ethics and the morals and the moral compass trickles down throughout that organization, it just didn't make sense to leave. To be able to replicate that was going to be a bigger task than just the selling of the homes itself. So big shout out to RE/MAX Results. It's a company that I absolutely love, and I'm so glad that we're here. So we are going to jump ahead and forecast a little bit about what's coming in 2025, what we envision anyway. So according to the market forecast, we're probably going to see continued challenges with inventory, but we do expect demand is going to remain strong.
Yeah, that's right. Interest rates are expected to stabilize, which should bring some relief to buyers who are priced out in 2024. However, affordability will still be a concern, especially with prices expected to continue their gradual rise.
Hmm.
One interesting trend to watch is the potential for increased new construction. Builders are stepping up to address the inventory gap, which could provide more options for buyers later in the year.
Yeah, and I was looking for a chart to show that it has been really positive as far as the new builds are coming along. Great. That was something we struggled with, and we are still, again, I don't have a number to show on the screen, but last I saw, we are about 20,000 homes behind what we actually need here in Elkhart County. So builders get busy. If you guys could just build, about 10 homes a day, that'd be fantastic
Yeah, yep.
and really help
Super
us.
realistic.
Yeah, yeah. Come on, guys. Chop, chop. Shout out to Amzie Lehman, one of our favorite builders who we're looking at. I just spent a lot of time with his assistant, Melissa Hunter, yesterday, trying to find just a lot for him to build on. So it's not just a matter of like finding someone to buy the home that he's building. He's having a hard time just finding lots to build on.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of challenges. But as you can see on the screen right now, the mortgage rate projections are expected to trickle down. But if you're sitting there, still sitting there saying, "Hey, I'm waiting for that 4% or that 3% again," you are going to probably wait till the end of your days, because I don't think we're going to see that. I really don't think we're ever going to see 3% again. And if we do, that's probably a really bad thing. It means something's going very wrong in the economy, and they're trying to bump it back up. But most analysts, as you can see, kind of predict just a slow, gradual dropping off. So folks, do not wait. While this is showing the gradual drop off of the rates, the home prices, as Brianna mentioned earlier, continue to go up. We're still seeing growth, above average growth, and certainly above inflation growth in the value of your home. So buying a home now is the best time to buy. As I always say, do you live in America? It's a good time to buy a home.
Yep.
They go up in value. It's your best nest egg you can possibly have. So sellers, it is a great time to list your home. It is the winter. It's cold. It's nasty out there. It's limited supply though, and it's still strong buyer demand. So well-priced, move-in ready properties will continue to perform well in this market.
Yeah, and to kind of reiterate what you were saying earlier about buyers, our advice is to stay ready, get pre-approved, work closely with your agent, and be prepared to move quickly when the right home comes along.
Yep, and for sellers, they should focus on presentation and pricing. Homes that are staged and priced competitively will sell faster for more money. And if you're thinking of selling, now is the time to start planning.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. One of the ones, the other things I wanted to throw up here on the screen real quick. A lot of people, like to flip homes, and as you can see here, some historical trends of mortgage delinquency rates, which obviously leads to mortgage foreclosures. Unfortunately, they're never a good thing. You never want to see that happen. They are starting to trickle up, but it's so minute. So for folks out there that are like, "Hey, we want to fix her up," or "We want something like that," we want to start out, fix our home up, it's really difficult to find. And again, that demand, as far as buyer demand, is still massive. We've got some investors that we work with, and they struggle to find homes to flip, and that's all they do. That is their full-time occupation, is flipping homes. And they're going to the sheriff sales. They're, scouring the demand out there for homes, and it's just really, really a hard time to find anything. So if that's something you're looking for, we can certainly hunt for it for you. But just know that that is not a real good trend right now, even though it is starting to very gently creep up. I don't see that accelerating quickly. So wanted to touch on that. Oh, this is one I love this. So we were going to kind of wrap it at this point when we first talked about this show, but I do want to touch on one other trend that I think is very interesting in the real estate market, because this is a number that has definitely grown since I got into it. And I think it kind of flies in the face of what the press would like you to believe. So according to the National Association of Realtors 2024 profile of home buyers and sellers, 90% of home sellers used a real estate agent to sell their homes. That's up from 89% the previous year, and continues to rise over time. That's something that I've seen forever. So FSBOs, as we call them, for sale by owner transactions, they have reached an all-time low, now accounting for just 6% of home sales.
Wow. Yeah, that's a significant shift. It's also noteworthy that FSBO homes tend to sell for less. The typical FSBO home sold for $380,000 compared to $435,000 for agent-assisted home sales.
Yep, and almost 40% of FSBOs are actually sales to a neighbor, friend, or family member. These statistics highlight the value that real estate professionals bring to the table, from pricing expertise to marketing strategies and negotiation skills.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the numbers there, it's stark. Again, take off that 40% that are selling to their friends, families, and neighbors, and it's more like 3%, maybe 4% of all sales are actually FSBOs for sale by owners. And then again, look at the numbers that Nathan mentioned, $55,000 difference on average for your home.
Yep.
I know it's not a pleasant thought to, to say, hey, I've got to pay a real estate agent to help sell my home. But the reality is the money comes back to you in spades. It comes back plus a pretty big margin. I definitely feel like we earn our keep. We will get you maximum value for your home. Please trust an agent to sell your home. If it's not the Nick Wise team, please trust an agent to sell your home.
Yeah.
It should be the Nick Wise team, though.
That's right.
So yeah, it's clear that more and more sellers are recognizing the benefits of working with experienced agents. There's a lot of complexities that are involved in the real estate market. Do not get yourself in trouble. Please call a professional. That kind of wraps it up, guys. So that's our look ahead at the. I'm going to get that off the screen. Oh, maybe I should leave it up there. We're leaving it up there.
That's
We're leaving
right.
that up there. Look at that. But that kind of wraps it up for today. So again, if you're thinking about buying or selling or investing, Remax Results, the Nick Wise team, we are here to guide you every step of the way.
Yeah, that's right. And thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to follow us on social media and subscribe to the Realty Rundown for more insights.
And if you have any questions about the market or need help with your real estate goals, reach out to us anytime.
That's right. Thanks for listening to the Realty Rundown from the Nick Wise team. Remember, Nick knows, get wise replies. We'll see you next time, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.